The happiest person is not the one with the easiest life. It is the one who has stopped allowing every problem, person and disappointment to control their heart. When your happiness comes from Allah, hardship may shake your life, but it cannot permanently steal your peace. Here is how you build that kind of happiness. 1. Stop waiting for life to become perfect. Many people unknowingly postpone their happiness because they believe peace will begin only after everything falls into place. They say, I will be happy when this problem disappears, when I have more money, when someone finally understands me, or when Allah answers the prayer I have been making. But life rarely becomes completely free from difficulty. When one problem ends, another responsibility may begin. And if happiness always depends on perfect circumstances, your heart will remain trapped in constant waiting. You will keep chasing tomorrow while ignoring the blessings Allah has already placed in today. Look carefully at your present life. You may still have unanswered questions, painful memories or uncertain plans, but you also have reasons to be grateful. You have survived moments you once thought would destroy you, and you may already be living inside blessings you previously begged Allah to receive. Do not allow one missing thing to make everything else appear meaningless. Happiness begins when you stop demanding a perfect life and start appreciating Allah's mercy within your imperfect one. You do not need every problem to disappear before you smile, worship, grow, and enjoy the life Allah has given you today. 2. Do not place your happiness in people's hands. When your happiness depends entirely on how people treat you, your emotions become controlled by things you cannot predict. A kind message can make your day, while someone's silence can leave you feeling worthless. Their attention gives you confidence, but their distance makes you question your value. This is a painful way to live because people are human. Their moods change, their priorities shift, and even those who love you may sometimes disappoint you. If your peace rises and falls with their behavior, you will never feel emotionally secure. Love people, appreciate them, and treat them with kindness, but do not make them responsible for completing your heart. No person can provide the permanent peace that only closeness to Allah can create. Someone ignoring you does not reduce your worth, and someone leaving does not mean your life has lost its meaning. Your value was given by Allah, not decided by human approval. When you place your deepest trust in Him, you stop begging people to make you feel important. You can enjoy their presence without fearing their absence because the foundation of your happiness is no longer in their hands. People may change, but Allah's knowledge, mercy and care for you will never change. 3. Look for the blessing hidden inside the difficulty. When life becomes painful, the difficulty can appear so large that you stop noticing anything beyond it. You may see only the rejection, delay, loss or disappointment and wonder why Allah allowed it to enter your life. Yet not every blessing arrives through comfort. Some blessings appear as closed doors that protect you from places you were never meant to enter. Others arrive through painful endings that release you from people or situations that were quietly damaging your heart. What feels like punishment today may later reveal itself as protection, redirection, or preparation for something better. Instead of allowing hardship to convince you that Allah has forgotten you, pause and ask what this season may be teaching you. Perhaps it is strengthening your patience, correcting your priorities, exposing an unhealthy attachment, or bringing you closer to Allah after a period of distance. You may not understand the wisdom immediately because some answers become clear only after you have moved forward. Continue trusting Allah while doing what is right, even when the complete picture remains hidden. The difficulty may not be the end of your happiness, it may be the road leading you toward a deeper peace, stronger faith, and a life you could not have reached without it. 4. Release what you cannot control. One of the greatest reasons people lose their happiness is that they spend their emotional energy trying to control things that were never placed in their hands. They want to control how others behave, what people think about them, when a particular door will open, how quickly a prayer will be answered, and exactly how their future will unfold. When life refuses to follow their preferred plan, they become frustrated, anxious, and emotionally exhausted. The problem is not always the situation itself. Sometimes the deeper problem is the belief that peace can come only when everything happens according to your expectations. You cannot force someone to understand your heart. You cannot make another person appreciate everything you have done for them. You cannot return to the past and change the decision you made, the opportunity you missed, or the words someone spoke to you. You cannot see tomorrow clearly enough to prevent every disappointment. Continuing to fight these realities will not give you more control. It will only steal the strength you need to take care of what Allah has actually placed within your responsibility. There is wisdom in recognizing the difference between something you can change and something you must entrust to Allah. Releasing control does not mean becoming careless, passive, or unwilling to improve your life. Islam teaches you to make an effort, seek what is beneficial, correct your mistakes, and take responsible action. You should prepare, work, pray, communicate, and make thoughtful decisions. However, after you have done what you reasonably can, you must stop torturing yourself over the final result. Your responsibility is the effort, but the outcome belongs to Allah. You can plant the seed and care for it faithfully, but you cannot command it to grow overnight. In the same way, you can make sincere dua and pursue a lawful path, but you cannot demand that the answer arrive according to your personal calendar. Sometimes you keep replaying a situation because your mind believes that enough overthinking will eventually produce certainty. You examine every conversation, imagine every possible outcome, and repeatedly ask yourself what might go wrong. Yet overthinking rarely prepares you for the future. It usually forces you to experience problems that have not even happened. You suffer once in your imagination, then possibly suffer again if the event actually occurs. Allah has given you enough strength for today, but anxiety convinces you to carry tomorrow's burdens before tomorrow has arrived. Bring your attention back to the present and ask yourself, what is the right thing I can do today? Then take that step without demanding to see the entire journey. You must also release the need to control people's opinions. No matter how carefully you explain yourself, someone may still misunderstand you. No matter how sincerely you behave, someone may question your intentions. If you spend your life trying to correct every opinion, you will become a prisoner of people who may never be satisfied. Protect your character, correct yourself when you are genuinely wrong, and apologize when you have caused harm. But once you have acted with honesty, do not destroy your peace trying to prove your heart to everyone. Allah knows the intentions people cannot see, the private battles you never discuss, and the truth behind every situation. There will also be moments when Allah closes a door you desperately wanted to enter. Your first reaction may be to push harder because you are convinced that your happiness exists on the other side. You may chase a person, force an opportunity, or remain attached to a plan that repeatedly brings you pain. But not every closed door is an invitation to keep knocking. Some doors remain closed because Allah sees the harm that your limited vision cannot recognize. What you call a missed opportunity may be protection from a future that would have wounded you. Releasing that door does not mean you have given up on life. It means you trust Allah enough to believe that His plan is not limited to the one outcome you imagined. Tawakkul becomes powerful when you stop measuring Allah's care by how quickly you receive what you want. A delayed answer does not mean your dua was ignored, and an unexpected outcome does not mean your life has been ruined. Allah may answer by giving you what you requested, by delaying it until you are ready, by redirecting you towards something more suitable, or by protecting you from what you could not foresee. Your heart becomes lighter when it understands that unanswered questions can exist beside genuine faith. You do not need to know exactly how everything will work out in order to believe that Allah will guide you through it. Think about how much emotional space would return to your life if you stopped carrying what belongs to Allah. You would no longer spend every night predicting the future, chasing explanations, or begging people to behave differently. You would still care, but you would care without destroying yourself. You would still make plans, but you would hold them with open hands. You would still experience disappointment, but it would not convince you that everything is finished. This is not weakness, it is emotional and spiritual maturity. It is knowing when to act courageously and when to step back peacefully. Whenever anxiety begins to take control, separate your burden into two parts. First, identify what you can do. Make the call, complete the work, seek forgiveness, establish a boundary, ask for help, or make sincere dua. Then identify what you cannot do. Control another heart, guarantee a result, rewrite the past, or see what Allah has kept hidden. Give your full effort to the first part and surrender the second part to Him. Your peace will not come from controlling every detail, it will come from knowing that nothing is outside Allah's control. Release what has already left, what refuses to change, and what you were never meant to carry. Stop exhausting your heart by wrestling with outcomes that belong to Allah. Do your part with sincerity, then allow yourself to breathe. What Allah has written for you will not miss you, and what He has protected you from could never have completed you. When you finally loosen your grip on what you cannot control, you make room for patience, gratitude, clarity, and a happiness that uncertainty can no longer easily steal. 5. Build a happiness that comes from Allah. The happiness this world offers is often temporary. A compliment can lift your mood, a new possession can excite you, and someone's attention can make you feel important, but these feelings can disappear as quickly as they arrived. People change, possessions lose their excitement, achievements become ordinary, and circumstances rarely remain the same forever. If your happiness is built only upon things that can be taken away, your heart will constantly live in fear of losing them. You may appear happy on the outside while silently worrying about what will happen when the source of that happiness changes. This does not mean you should reject the beautiful things Allah has placed in your life. Enjoy your family, friendships, achievements, health, and lawful comforts with gratitude. The problem begins when you expect these blessings to provide something they were never designed to give, permanent security for your heart. Every worldly blessing is valuable, but every worldly blessing is also temporary. People should be loved without being worshipped emotionally, possessions should be enjoyed without becoming your identity, and success should be appreciated without becoming the measurement of your worth. The heart needs a foundation deeper than anything the world can provide. A happiness that comes from Allah is different because it does not require everything around you to be perfect. It is the quiet strength that allows you to experience sadness without surrendering to hopelessness. It helps you face rejection without believing you are worthless, and endure delay without assuming that Allah has forgotten you. This happiness does not mean that believers never cry, struggle, or feel overwhelmed. Faith does not remove every painful emotion, it gives those emotions direction. You may bend under the weight of a difficult season, but your connection with Allah prevents that season from completely breaking you. Begin building this happiness through your relationship with Salah. Do not treat prayer as another task to finish as quickly as possible. See it as a place where you can put down the burden you have carried throughout the day. When you stand before Allah, you do not need to impress anyone, hide your weakness, or explain why your heart feels tired. Allah already knows what happened, what you lost, what you fear, and what you are unable to say. Speak to Him sincerely in your dua, even if your words are simple. A heart that repeatedly returns to Allah learns that it is never truly alone. There will be days when you pray, but do not immediately feel different. Do not assume that your worship is meaningless. A relationship with Allah is not built through one emotional moment, it is strengthened through consistent return. Continue praying when you feel inspired and when you feel tired. Continue making dua when the answer seems close and when nothing appears to be changing. Every sincere act of worship teaches your heart where to return when the world becomes heavy. Over time, that return becomes a source of stability that difficult circumstances cannot easily remove. Gratitude is another foundation of lasting happiness. An ungrateful heart can stand inside a life filled with blessings and still feel completely empty because it focuses only on what is absent. Gratitude does not require you to pretend that your problems are painless. It simply prevents one difficulty from hiding every mercy Allah has given you. You can feel hurt and still thank Allah for the people who genuinely care about you. You can face uncertainty and still appreciate the provision you received today. You can grieve what ended while recognizing the strength Allah gave you to survive it. Train your eyes to notice ordinary blessings before you lose the ability to enjoy them. The peaceful morning, the food in front of you, the body that continues carrying you, the opportunity to begin again, and the private protection you may never fully understand are all forms of mercy. Not every blessing announces itself dramatically. Some of Allah's greatest gifts enter your life quietly and become so familiar that you stop noticing them. When gratitude becomes a daily practice, your happiness no longer depends only on receiving something new. It also grows through recognizing what has already been given. Your connection with the Quran can also reshape the way you understand life. When you view hardship only through emotion, every delay may feel like rejection and every loss may appear meaningless. Revelation reminds you that life is a test. Patience has value, ease can follow hardship, and Allah's wisdom extends beyond what you can currently see. Reading even a small portion with reflection can interrupt the hopeless stories your mind creates. Instead of allowing fear to interpret your entire life, you begin allowing faith to give meaning to what you are experiencing. You must also protect your heart from habits that repeatedly distance you from peace. Constant comparison can make you resent your own journey. Endless scrolling can convince you that everyone else is happier, more successful, and more loved than you. Chasing praise can turn every decision into a performance, while holding on to resentment can force you to carry people who have already moved on. Pay attention to what enters your mind and what remains inside your heart. Happiness requires more than adding positive habits. Sometimes it also requires removing what quietly drains your spiritual and emotional strength. When you make a mistake, do not allow shame to convince you that you can never return to Allah. The purpose of repentance is not to keep you trapped inside your worst moment. It is to open a path back to Him, admit what was wrong, seek forgiveness sincerely, repair what you can, and make a serious effort to change. A person who returns to Allah with humility can discover hope even after failure. Your past may explain some of your wounds, but it does not have to control your future. Allah's mercy is greater than the mistake that made you believe you were beyond repair. A happiness connected to Allah also gives your life purpose. When you live only for comfort, every inconvenience feels like a disaster. But when you live to worship Allah, improve your character, serve others, and use your abilities responsibly, even difficult days can carry meaning. You begin asking more powerful questions. How can I respond in a way that pleases Allah? What can this season teach me? Whom can I help with what I have learned? Purpose does not remove pain, but it prevents pain from becoming empty. It transforms your struggle into an opportunity for patience, compassion, and growth. Do not underestimate the happiness found in doing good quietly. Help someone without announcing it, comfort a person who feels forgotten, forgive when revenge would be easier, and give whatever you can with sincerity. The heart becomes narrow when it thinks only about itself, but acts of kindness remind you that your life can still produce goodness even while you are healing. You may not be able to solve every problem you face today, but you can still become a reason someone else feels seen, supported, or hopeful. That sense of purpose can bring light into your own difficult season. As your relationship with Allah grows, you will stop expecting people to fill every empty space inside you. You will still value love and companionship, but you will no longer collapse whenever someone becomes distant. You will appreciate support without making another person responsible for your entire emotional survival. This creates healthier relationships because you are no longer loving only from fear, desperation, or constant need for reassurance. You can love with dignity, establish boundaries with wisdom, and walk away from harmful situations without believing you have lost your only chance at happiness. There may still be moments when your heart feels heavy despite your prayers, gratitude, and effort. Do not judge your entire faith through one difficult day. Human beings naturally experience emotional changes, and needing rest, support, or professional help does not make you spiritually weak. Speak with trustworthy people when your burden becomes too heavy, and seek qualified support when your emotional health requires it. Trusting Allah includes using the lawful means He has made available. Healing may involve dua, patience, honest conversation, healthy routines, and professional care working together. Build this happiness through small actions repeated faithfully. Begin your morning by thanking Allah before looking at everything that worries you. Protect your prayers instead of fitting them around every distraction. Spend time with the Quran, reduce unnecessary comparison, care for your body, choose beneficial company, and end your day by remembering the mercy you experienced. These actions may seem simple, but a strong spiritual life is usually built through consistent choices rather than one dramatic transformation. What you repeat eventually shapes what your heart depends upon. Eventually you will understand that true happiness is not constant excitement. It is peace with Allah, hope during uncertainty, gratitude during ordinary days, and confidence that your life has meaning even when you cannot see the entire plan. It is being able to say, this situation is painful, but it will not separate me from Allah. I do not understand everything, but I still trust Him. I have lost something valuable, but I have not lost the one who can restore my heart. Do not build your happiness around a person who may change, an achievement that may fade, or a circumstance that may end. Build it through prayer, gratitude, trust, repentance, purpose, and closeness to Allah. Then, when life changes, and it certainly will, your heart will still have somewhere safe to return. You may be tested, disappointed, or temporarily broken-hearted, but you will not remain empty forever. When Allah becomes the deepest source of your happiness, the world may shake what surrounds you, but it cannot easily destroy the peace growing within you. Before you leave, remember this: happiness is not a life without storms. It is a heart that knows where to find shelter when the storm arrives. Stop waiting for everything to become perfect. Stop placing your peace in people's hands, and stop allowing one difficult season to make you forget every blessing Allah has already given you. Whatever you are facing today is only one chapter. It is not your entire story. The door that closed, the person who left, the prayer still waiting for an answer, and the uncertainty you cannot control may all be guiding you toward a deeper relationship with Allah. Continue doing what is right. Remain grateful for what remains, and trust Him with what you cannot understand. When your happiness is rooted in Allah, people may disappoint you without destroying you. Hardship may test you without defeating you, and life may change without taking away your hope. You may not smile through every moment, but you will always have a reason to rise again. If this message reached your heart, write Alhamdulillah in every situation in the comments and share it with someone who needs hope today. Subscribe to Success with Barakah for more reminders that strengthen your faith, protect your peace, and bring your heart closer to Allah. May Allah fill your heart with gratitude during ease, patience during hardship, and a happiness that nothing in this world can take away. Until next time, protect your peace, trust Allah's plan, and never forget, a heart connected to Allah is never truly empty.